All right. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about conversions. And when we talk about conversions in math and science, we are changing one unit to another unit, or we're changing one rate to another rate. Now sometimes that changes things from like a metric or an SI unit, which is the International Standard of Units, or it's changing something to a standard unit. So like we're changing kilometers to miles, or maybe even quarts to gallons and staying in the same realm as well. So let's do some conversions together, and then I'll give you some things to practice as we go. So using your pink conversion sheet, here's the first thing we're going to try. We're going to convert 6 miles into kilometers. Now when we change 6 miles into kilometers, again, there's 2 ways in which we can do this, all right? So, and we're going to show our work for this as well. The first way that we can do this is we can do it with what's known as a proportion. So we know that 6 miles is equal to X kilometers. Okay, so I'm going to do this a couple different ways. I can then set that equal to a ratio that you have on your pink sheet of conversions of miles to kilometers. So does anybody see how many miles and kilometers, how they go together?
1 mile is 1.61 kilometers.
Okay, good. So 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. All right? Now, we can cross multiply then, so we can cross multiply the 6 and the 1.61, and you can multiply the 1 and the x. Don't do that. Kind of a waste of time. But go ahead and multiply the 6 times 1.61, and I'll do the same. And this is what I was able to get, 9.66. So our final answer up here is going to be 9 66/100 kilometers. So this is the proportion way that we can do this. And it works really well if you're just going from one unit to the other and you have a conversion on your sheet, just like we did right there. All right. Now, there's another way we can think about this. And this is the method of cancellation. So would you jot this down right below it in your notes? Now you might be thinking, well, yeah, you just take 6 times 1.61 and you're done. And you're right. All right. So another way we can think about this, and this is the method we're going to use it a lot in a little bit, we can do 6 miles and just put it over the number 1, write it as a fraction. Now, the next thing that we can do is we could multiply that by 1 mile and 1.61 kilometers. Why do you think I wrote the second fraction in that order?
So that you can cancel the units.
Correct. That's exactly right. So we can cancel the units. So miles go away and miles go away. And look what I'm left with. I'm left with kilometers. And I have 6 times 1.61 kilometers. And that's going to give me my answer there. Both methods work. Okay. You're going to find that this method is the one that will kind of stick with an awfully lot as we go about our session today. All right? Okay. All right. Next one I want to look at. The next conversion I want to do is I want to take 8,000 feet and I want to make a conversion over to kilometers. If you think about the importance of converting, we do that a lot. Bankers do that a lot, bank tellers. For example, how many quarters do you need for $10? That's a conversion we make. How many pennies do you need for $5? 500, that's right. Okay? So we do this in all walks of life. Okay? So this is when we're changing, again, units, just like we're changing dollars to quarters, or quarters to pennies, or nickels to quarters. Okay? So from a money standpoint, yeah, it's a very, very common practice that we're dealing with. We can do that very easily because we're used to money. We've been dealing with money for most of our lives. So I want you to take a look on your conversions sheet and see, do you see a conversion on here that goes from feet to kilometers? It's on the same line. Feet and kilometers. Anybody see one? Rats. Yeah, you're right. There isn't one. So what do? Well, we cry. No, we don't cry. We find a way. So what we need to do is we need to look on here and think to ourselves, is there a unit that goes with feet and goes with kilometers that we can kind of cross-reference with? Go ahead.
Miles.
Miles. Look, feet and miles. Miles and kilometers. There's a way that we can link those. We're going to do that. All right? So let's do that. So here's what we know. We have 8,000 feet, and we're going to put that over 1. All right. Now, just what was suggested a little bit ago, we've got to cross-cancel the feet. All right? Now, there's different orders that we can do this in, and that's totally fine. Let's get rid of feet first, and let's convert it to miles. So if I put 5,280 feet in the denominator, that is 1 mile. Why did I do that again?
So that you can cross-cancel the feet.
Feet go away. Now, I'm not done because I don't need miles. I need kilometers. And using what I did last time up here, that I can go ahead and multiply this by 1 mile and 1.61 kilometers. That's what the conversion sheet shows. So, miles go away. I have my kilometers, but I got a bunch of other stuff here too. How do I finish it? How do I find the actual number?
Multiply the denominators.
Yep, and the numerators. So what we're going to do is multiply. What I would do is I'd multiply all the numerators first. Okay, so on a calculator, if you take your 8,000 times 1.61, that's the product of the numerators. But I've got a 5280 in the denominator. What do I got to do with that? What do I have to do with 5,280? Put in the denominator, and if it's in the denominator, what button do I have to hit? Divide by 5,280. Wow, that's not a nice decimal. Not at all.
I say 2.5.
Okay. Well, not quite that. Let's round it to the nearest hundredth. So if we round that to the nearest hundredth, how many kilometers is this?
2.44.
That's right. Thank you. 2 44/100ths to the nearest hundredth. 2 decimal places. Now, if we were doing a conversion and we needed this calculation to be used in other ones, then we would want to use the same thing. And notice it repeats. It looks like it has a pattern of 39 as it goes. All right. Those are 2 with length. Let's do one that's not length. Let's use a different part of the conversions. So let's try 25 liters. And let's change it over to quarts. 25 liters, let's change it to quarts. All right. We look at our pink sheet of conversions and go, there's got to be something that converts liters to quarts, but there's not. So we have to find a unit that goes with liters and goes with quarts. Gallons. Gallons, that's right. So very nice. So we see liters and gallons here. That's metric or SI, standard units of measure, across the world except for 3 countries. We also see gallons up here, and that's quarts. So let's go ahead and build that. Would you all give this one a try? Okay, see if you can set it up. Go ahead and use your trusty buttons and see what you get. I'll give you a head start. You'll need that eventually. And it's not wrong if you put it there right now. That's the show your neighbor if you find you have a final answer, see if you agree. And this one we'll have to round as well. Some of you are agreeing, which is great. Here's the work that goes with it. So 25 liters over 1. I decided to get rid of liters first. Not that I had to do that, but at some point I do. So liters, and 1 gallon is equal to 3.79 liters. The liters cross off. 4 quarts equal a gallon. Notice gallons cross off. I'm left with QT. Not to be confused with, thank you, okay? More than a gas station. That's what they say. If you listen to the radio and TV. So, all right. So now, we're going to go to QT and get a roller grill. No, we're not going to do that. So, 25 times 4 then, divided by 3.79, gives me an answer. Let's see if I can round. 26 and 39 hundredths. How'd you do? Not bad. Not bad. All right. It is the idea of multiplying where you can cancel out units. We've always multiplied and canceled out numbers. Okay. Sometimes in the science world, this is called the railroad track method. Because what are you doing? You're kind of making railroad tracks. If you kind of look, you got tracks here, you got tracks here. Theory, they'd be kind of parallel. But sometimes it does get referred to as that. All right. Any questions so far? You guys can think of. Okay. Let's ramp it up. Let's go a little farther. All right. So you'll notice that proportions work really well if we have something on the sheet. We can just, cross multiply and we've got it. But it doesn't work very well if we have to use one unit and then another unit and then another unit on that, like we're about to do. So the second thing that I want to do with you this morning is we're going to make this conversion. We're going to change 50 feet per second. And we're going to convert that to miles per hour, which is always abbreviated MPH. Now, in the science world, things are a lot given in a lot as far as feet per second. But feet per second might not mean a lot. If I said Kinsley can run 50 feet per second, you don't know if that's fast or slow. Actually, we kind of do.
That's really fast.
That's pretty fast, isn't it? If she's covering 50 feet a second, she's booking it. Okay? If I'm going 2 feet per second, that might be just normal walking. No. Okay? Hey, yeah, you put 50 feet per second, and somebody's booking it. Yeah, maybe so. All right. So let's go ahead and set this one up. So what's different about here and what we did before is we have multiple units here. Your textbook calls it, this is derived units. Now, these can get a little bit lengthy. So I'm going to start over here on the left side of my paper. I'm going to put 50 feet per second. So I'm going to do 50 feet over 1 second. Now, do you know what I have to do here? I have to get rid of feet and seconds. Wow. I got to get miles and hours. So, help me out. Starting off, let's get rid of feet. Now, we have to get feet to convert to miles. How many feet are in a mile? 5,280. All right. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply. Now, where do I put feet? Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom. Okay. So, 5,280. We want feet to cancel out, and that's 1 mile. All right. Let's see if I accomplish that mission. Mission accomplished. Not Mission Impossible. Like the Tom Cruise movies. Yes, very good, very good. All right. So we have miles. We need miles. We have to get rid of seconds. So let's do this in a couple different ways. Does anybody know how many seconds are in an hour? Because if you do, you're just, well, you're going to save us some time. Does anybody know how many seconds are in an hour? 3,600 is correct. Let's say we didn't know that. All right. So how many seconds are in a minute? 60. Okay, let's kind of do it the long way, just in case. So 60 seconds is 1 minute. Look at that. We get rid of seconds. Boom, there it goes. Now I've got to convert minutes to hours. How many minutes are in an hour? 60. Where does the 60 go? Well, it has to go on top. We want minutes to go away, and 1 hour goes here. See, what you're thinking when you see this is 50 feet per second. Let me write this up top a little bit different. This is the same as 50 feet for every 1 second. We're trying to convert this to miles per 1 hour. In your car, if you go 60 miles per hour, you're going 60 miles in an hour. I've told you about the YouTube video that's out there where some person is arguing with another person and thinks that 80 miles per hour is you're going 60 miles. No, you're going 80 miles in an hour. That's what math does. That's how we prove it. So now, what do we have? We have miles, which we need. We have hours down here. So now, take your trusty buttons, your calculator, multiply everything in the numerator, and divide by everything in the denominator. Now, if there's more than one term or more than one number in the denominator, you can keep dividing. I'll do it with you. We'll see if we agree. I haven't hit equals yet, but I did. It's hard to see up on screen. 50 times 60 times 60 divided by 5,280. Whew. You're moving right along. If you can run that fast, you should be in the Olympics. A gentleman by the name of Usain Bolt, you might have heard of him. In 2016, he ran in the 100 meters, almost 29 miles per hour, and had the world record. Of course, he was about 6'4", very long legs, so one stride, he was covering a lot of ground. So our final answer here, 34.09 miles per hour. If you can run that fast, hopefully mom and dad just don't say, you run home today. You'll get there. You'll get there.
You have to run to school.
Run to school, but you have your backpack that you're carrying too, right?
But if you have siblings.
Carry them.
Carry.
No, pull wagon.
Yes. Oh, all kinds of good ideas. So, okay. How are we feeling about that? Okay. Not easy. It's a lot going on there. But again, we're crossing things out. Let's do one more together, and then let's have you try one on your own. Okay? So let's do this one this time. Let's do this. We're doing great. All right, let's do 9 liters per minute. Sometimes when you buy like a pump that pumps water, it'll say like this pump will do 9 liters per minute. And we are sitting here in America going, well, I don't really know what liters really are. What is something that does come in a liter you can think of? Could. Yeah, 2-liter bottle of pop, or 2-liter bottle of soda. Who says pop, and who says soda? Raise your hand if you say pop. Raise your hand if you say soda.
We need Eli.
Soda's winning right now. We need our missing person to weigh in as also no. All right, let's change 9 liters per minute to gallons per second. Now that's going to mean something more probably to me. Okay, now we've got to change minutes to seconds, but we've got to change liters to gallons too. So let's map it out. 9 liters and 1 minute. Okay. All right. Do we see liters and gallons on the sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. What is it?
3.7.
There you go. Thank you. So let's see. Now we're going to need gallons on top. So we're going to need 1 gallon and 3.79 liters. That will get rid of liters. Mission accomplished. Now, we have to change minutes to seconds. So again, we're reading on the side of the pump and we're going, I'm not sure if this is going to do what I need, so we might need to do a conversion. So, minutes and seconds. Now I need seconds on the bottom because this slash means it's on the bottom. So this is going to be 1 minute and 60 seconds. Now, for the first time, we've got more numbers than just a 1 on the bottom, because what we've had before is we've just had 1 number and a bunch of 1s. Now we got 2 numbers down there. So when you put this, now I think we're good because we have gallons and seconds. So I think we're A-okay. The way you'd put this in your calculator is you could just take 9 and then divide it by everything on the bottom. So you could go 9 and divide it by 3.79 and divide it by 60. It's not a very big number. That's okay. I have 0.04. All right. Now, since science is an application of math, let me just do one thing with you too. You don't have to jot this down. What I could have done is I could have multiplied everything across the top. 9 times 1 times 1 is 9. Multiply everything across the bottom, 3.79 times 60. That's 227.4. And then I could have divided 9 by 227 0.4, same number, not as efficient. All right? So we're really following this idea of order of operations. And that is how we do unit conversions. Proportions work, but also you can go ahead and cross-cancel and do it that way also. Your book, if you'll turn to page 19 in your book for just a moment, your book also has some really good examples that we'll take a really quick peek at, and you can do that on your own if you're watching as well. But that's how we do the unit conversions.